stuff, but I do not like this mission. Nothing ultimately comes of it, really. It kind of sets up D as an antagonist for a bit until he gets shot in the head. It's just like a very mid mission. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but it's not very good. It's somewhere in the middle here. And I'm a little bit biased against it because of how much, like, I hate it in the speedrun. Complications. Not a lot happens in this mission, like, gameplay-wise. The stealth is laughably stupid. The drive is just you drive there and you drive back. You have to drive the butter car, which is, like, an annoying car to drive. But there are some funny things in the mission, like if you fail in Michael's house, the tennis pro puts a mandate in front of him and he yells, "Help! He's black!" Which is so out of left field that it made me laugh the first time I saw it. The fight between Michael and Simeon, I consider that to be kind of iconic. Like, it's got some memorable things in it. I don't hate the mission. There's nothing offensive about it. It's just gameplay-wise not very good. So it's like a C or B kind of territory. I'm gonna put it in B because it involves Simeon. I like Simeon. Father-son, an annoying mission in the speedrun. Like, the whole premise of it, Franklin climbing on a boat and then jumping off the boat, saving Jimmy, is just such a dumb premise. And it's so ridiculously scripted and all timed and stuff. Like, you can shoot a guy on the boat and he doesn't fall off until like 30 seconds later because he's meant to be scripted to die at that point. There's a guy on the boat who's literally invulnerable because Rockstar wanted to remove a bug. It's just such a badly designed mission. I'm sure when you play it for the first time, you're like, oh boy, we're chasing a boat on the freeway, haha. But upon reflection, it's not a good mission. It's way too scripted. It does introduce the mechanics, but like, who cares? Everyone knows what mechanics are because they exist in real life and they exist in other GTA games. I don't want to put it in D. I don't hate the mission, but it's not good. I mean, no, I'm gonna put it in D. If I hate the mission, it'll be hot garbage. I'm putting it in D. I'm not ranking them within these tiers, by the way. Like, Father-son is probably better than Pulling Favors, but yeah, it's not a good mission. No, it's in this kind of area here. Marriage counseling, it's such a short and sweet mission. The gameplay isn't really significant, but I can't help but like this mission because of that joke that I made in Pacifist about Martin Madrazo stealing driver's licenses. Martin Madrazo, the notorious driver's license thief, manages to get his hands on Franklin's driver's license.
License. Now, Franklin.
Absolute fucking witchcraft. And we are introduced to Martin, and the scene is pretty funny. It does set up, you know, the next stage of the game because Michael now needs money. The characters are sort of funny. The interactions are kind of funny.
I'm gonna stick up my hand and say that was uncool, bud. My bad. Seriously.
How fucking magnanimous! May I please offer you my applause? You fucking motherfucker!
Dude!
It's got some funny memes in it, but the gameplay sucks. And it's even designed poorly because the way that you're pulling the rope to pull down the house doesn't make any sense in regards to physics. I don't want to put it in C. I might put it like a B-. It's possible for like the cutscenes and stuff to make up for bad gameplay, but I think B. Friend request, again, gameplay, not very good. Like you drive, get dressed, you walk, and then drive home. There's nothing that really happens in it. You don't get to drive any cool cars. Like, you get to see Lester for the first time, and those interactions are pretty funny. His interactions with all the hipster coder people is pretty funny, and you blow up Mark Zuckerberg's head. That's funny. Like, who doesn't remember that? Like, you ask people who played GTA 5 10 years ago, you say, hey, remember when you blew up Mark Zuckerberg's head? They're like, oh, yeah, that's good time. The gameplay, so bad. But the cutscenes and the interactions and the characters, good. Can a mission with bad gameplay be an A? No, I don't think it can. I think it's B. Yeah, we'll put it in B. Daddy's Little Girl, the banter between Jimmy and Michael, like Michael breaking the TV and stuff, very memorable stuff. Jimmy, while being a loser, is kind of funny. You get to ride a bike in this mission, which is something you don't get much a chance to do. It's at least a different change on the formula that you're in a bike race. But then again, like, the game allows you to cheat, and Jimmy has effectively no chance of winning anyway. Although I suppose casually you probably wouldn't realize that. So maybe you would actually just do the bike race casually. It contains one of my favorite cutscene parts where Michael walks up and grabs the speakers and just like chucks it in the water. I think that's pretty funny. The game does allow you to have, which is quite uncommon, multiple ways of completing the mission. In that, yeah, you can cheat on the bike race and you can just kill the guys rather than going into the tunnels when you're on the jet skis. So I think this is a pretty good mission, honestly. Good cutscenes, funny dialogue, funny characters, varied gameplay. Well, not amazing gameplay, still pretty good. I think it's an A mission. Like, it's kind of what you're looking for. Case in the jewel store, it's one of those sort of fill in necessary missions to set up something that you're doing later. Like, you understand why they exist, but it's not very good. I mean, it does have those references, like
Moses, ironically, he found Jesus. All those Irish crazies, they mostly just disappeared. That crew from the south, they all went down. There was an an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet.
But ultimately, you're driving to a store, going on a roof, taking a picture, and then going back to Lester's. It's boring gameplay-wise. It's not that great. I don't think it's bad because it needs to exist, but it's either D or C. It references GTA 4 and Nico, so I'm gonna put it in C, just for that. Carbine rifles, hot garbage. Get this shit out of my face. So carbine rifles is one of the only setups that are on this list, but it's so iconic in the speedrun because it's destroyed so many speedruns where you get a helicopter spawning above you and you get the cops on you like permanently. I have seen casuals do carbine rifles and get stuck on it for like 15 minutes because they'll get like 3 stars and have never had to deal with 3 stars before, have no idea where to go and just keep getting bodied by them. Like if you know how to do it, even then you can still get unlucky and it can screw your entire speedrun. I just hate this mission. Screw this mission. How many sub 1% I had back in the day that were screwed by this goddamn mission? And it spawns by a text message. So you can get text messages that delay it. Again, not an issue casually, but in the speedrun, oh my god, die. So the smart jewel store heist and the loud jewel store heist are gonna get basically the same rating, and it's not gonna be very high. I don't think it's bad that you have your first heist of the game not be like 100 out of 100 firing on all cylinders, because if you did that, like you couldn't top that for the rest of the game. So I understand why the first heist needed to be like exciting, but not that great. But at the same time, these heists are pretty boring. You don't get much out of them because most of the money goes to Martin. It is just baby's first heist. You know, you drive there, break open